This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
You're listening to INC Radio.
Broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. DZEM 954 AM station. Here to bring you great conversations about faith, people, places, culture, and recent events all around the district. Join us on YouTube at INCradio.org. Hello, Northern Midwest and the rest of the world. It's time to get this show started.
It's time to get this show started. Good morning, good afternoon to everyone who is tuned into INC Radio Northern Midwest Satellite Studio. I'm Abriel Romero, one of your hosts for this afternoon on this lovely, cold Saturday. And we're glad to have you all joining us this afternoon. Please don't forget to give your comments and let us know where you're from in our YouTube live chat. I think I pointed the right way last time, so let's see if I can do it twice in a row. I think it's that way, or maybe it's down below. Wherever it is, please let us know where you're from and continue to share your thoughts with us on today's broadcast. And with me today, of course, as most times, as if not always, Tony and EJ are also with us to share their thoughts on today's topic. And you know what, Tony, one of the harder things I think I've experienced over the time doing INC Radio is making sure I get my intro right and making sure I say everything correctly. But I feel I have a handle on that now. How do you think I did?
You do great. You do great, Abe. Don't worry about your intro. Your intro's always good. But that is
difficult. At first, just making sure I had everything, but
checking all your boxes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Making your checklist. Make sure did I say everything I was supposed to? Yeah, that's one of the many things I think that are difficult for us, which is our topic for today. A little bit on the more thoughtful side. We hope that all of you can kind of share your thoughts with us there in the live chat. We do want to read them. The title of the topic is When We Face the Music. So when we kind of think about that, it's like facing the hard things or facing the challenging things. Like for Abe's, that was doing his intro. Like for radio, for me, it's like waking up in the morning when it's really, really nice in your bed and you don't want to get up and you're still really tired, but you know that you have to get up. That's one of the hard things that I've had to do lately. EJ, I don't know about you. What's well, we'll say challenging. We won't say hard. We'll say challenging.
Not going into too much detail. I would say for me, it's putting off something that I know I have to complete within the week. But I put it off because I was like, well, I don't even know like how to start with this. So I'll just take care of other stuff first.
Gotcha. I feel that way about chores. Like, I know I need to organize all of these things, but let me do all this other stuff first. I'm not good at cleaning. I know, EJ, you're better at cleaning. Abe, I don't know if you avoid cleaning like I do. Sometimes.
Because I know... Oh, go ahead, Dave.
I was like, some chores I will gladly do. Others, I'm going to put off.
Okay.
See, for me, I keep my station clean because I know it's just gonna make it harder for me, like when I need to find something, or if I need to, like I put special attention in how I organize my desk, because if it covers the outlet, I know that it's gonna be difficult for me to plug and unplug, stuff. So I pay special attention to that. But yeah, it's not something I do because I enjoy necessarily.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's some stuff we kind of face every day, right? Like cleaning. I'm trying to think of other things. Like warming up the car is really hard for me to be patient. Like in the morning when I'm warming up the car, I feel like Maybe it's because I'm worried about the time and I just want to go, go, go. I think you're supposed to warm it up for like 10 minutes, but it's really hard for me to be patient in the
Oh,
morning and wait
I
for
was gonna
that.
say, if you have a quick solution, like what I'm gonna probably do later, if you have a remote start, that really
I
does.
know, I know. I used to have one, but I don't have one anymore. But
Oh,
that's one of the things. Have you guys tried cold plunge or cold showers? Have you guys tried that?
I have.
Yeah.
Not not a lot, but every once in a while. Like if I feel stressful, overwhelmed, I'd stand in the shower and then just turn because you know like how it's initially like cold water.
hmm
Yeah.
So I'd let the cold water, I'd let the cold water hit me first, then like kind of wait for it to warm up.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's something that's definitely challenging for me too. I like it just because, like what you said, it does help like wake you up in the morning. I try not to do it for the whole shower. Like I
Yeah,
try like at least the last 30 seconds. At least the
because
last 30 seconds of the shower. If-
sometimes like right when you turn the shower on, it's like the water's cold and you waited for it to warm up before you jump in. Like I try already being in the shower when I turn the water on and just let that that cold water hit me before it warms up. I've been trying to do it more because I think I'm not sure. I think it's healthy for you to take cold showers as opposed to like warm. Or,
What they say, and don't quote me, what I've heard is that it helps with circulation.
mm,
Not we're not experts, but that's what I've heard that it does help with circulation. Although you don't want to get too cold of a shower, right?
yeah,
But I don't know if you could get hypothermia from that. I don't know if that's possible for scientists out there,
probably.
but yeah, just some stuff that I would say are challenging that we probably face every day, whether it's making food, for those who don't know how to cook like myself, like that's always a challenge trying to figure out trying to figure out what dinner is, stuff like that. But what about more long term stuff, I guess? Like, is there something that you guys have tried to learn recently that was really hard? Maybe something in like a personal goal or pursuit that was really hard that you're kind of struggling with.
I put off trying to learn how to play the organ because I see the reason I wanted to learn how to play the organ is because I wanted to learn how to play the guitar, and I forgot who told me this, but they say it's like it'll be easier for me to learn how to play the guitar if I know how to play the organ or the piano.
Probably
I,
because of the
that's
chords.
true.
I'm not sure, but I would probably say because of the chords. But can I ask, like, why has it been challenging? Like, why has it been challenging for you?
And it's just the lack of like I feel like I'm slow in learning it. Like
Mm.
like I was trying to learn how to play the organ, and the way I play, it's like I click, I press the keys, and then I look up at my notes. And to even put like kind of like a cheat sheet on my notes, where like how its notations are on a music sheet. I actually put like the letters next to
Mhm.
it, so I know which key to hit, and then on like my keyboard, actually I put the letters on there as well, so I know like it can be easier for me. But I feel just like it's just a little too slow for me to like learn. So I've kind of put it up, although I still want it. I still want
So it's kind of like you're disappointed at yourself a little bit that it's
the
taking you
lack of
so long.
progress. Yeah.
Mm, I feel that. I think me and Abe both feel that as fellow organists, right? Abe, like that struggle of you want to learn it already, you want to know the piece already, but you're not there yet. You're like, I just want to cry.
And especially as someone who was self-taught, like I didn't take
Yes.
piano classes, trying to make sure my fingers don't get tied up in themselves when trying to play certain pieces too is
Oh,
like really hard. So I'm like, I want this to sound right, but my fingers won't let me.
what I notice I do a lot is like I cross like hands a lot, which I know you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to like instead of like using this hand to reach over there, you're just supposed to move this hand like over there.
Well, in piano, that's a technique where they do overlap, but in organ, not so much. So different like methods there. But
Mm.
in terms of like how it made you feel, a lot of it was you felt kind of discouraged because of, and that's what made it hard for you.
Yeah, it's also looking at like, and this is something I shouldn't do. I shouldn't watch like people playing the guitar people playing the organ,
Mm.
especially if they're really good, because I compare myself and I say, like I look at that as like like I'm just here and they're already like over there, like in terms of like a race, right? Like
Mhm.
I'm just here at the starting point, like there's no way I can catch up to like that level of skill.
Gotcha. I see Rachel and Weiser, she put memorizing. Yeah, memorizing is
Mhm.
always really hard. And sometimes you feel like you want to just I'll get to it. I will. And you tell yourself like, yeah, we'll get there, but we kind of put it off, right? What
I
are
keep
the
forgetting like my method for memorizing, and then when it comes out again, I need to memorize something. I try to think, what did I do last time I needed to memorize something? Because I forgot already how I did it.
yeah, different things that make it that we want it to be easier, right? We try to make it easier for us, but sometimes it's just not easy, right? It is challenging just flat out. For you, Abe, like how does challenging or hard stuff like is something that you faced recently, how did it make you feel in terms of whatever the hard thing was that you had to do?
So, as maybe some know, like I've been back and forth on like a fitness journey, trying, and what was making it difficult, um, I think is just due to kind of my poor time management, to be honest. Like,
Aw.
there are some days where I'm like, okay, I know I should meal prep for the entire week. But then, like, because of time or other obligations that I have to do, I just don't get to it. And then I just end up not eating, which you shouldn't do, or just like getting something that's not as nutritious, or something that's not as good for you. Like, I mean, like it'll get you full, but it's not part of
Yeah,
the
quick,
end goal, like what I
quick
wanted.
meal. That's not really what's supposed to be in your diet.
Exactly. But like, yeah, like, do I just want something that tastes good? Or, like there's a lot of things like you need to like weigh like in terms of your options. So that's what was is really difficult and is still is at times. Also getting up in the morning. I know like Tony, you we were talking about it earlier. Like getting up is hard sometimes too, but especially to get some workouts in the morning. Especially
Mhm.
if you're like don't have energy, those are really hard to get through.
Yeah, that's what EJ Short, the other EJ, not EJ in Hangout EJ, the other brother EJ in the live chat. He said, having to wake up and get out of bed without his body aching. That is a challenge, right? We do feel those a little bit more as we mature, right? As as I'll say that, well, as we mature, it gets a little more challenging. But there's so many different challenging things that we have to do every day, right, guys? Whether it's for our school, for our work, for our responsibilities, right, to our household, our families, whatever it may be. What helps you guys actually do the hard things? Like, you kind of mentioned already some of the stuff that gets in our way, right? A lot of it is our the feelings that we have about maybe what we're doing, like we're not satisfied, or maybe like what you said, Abe, it's like the time. We feel like
Yeah.
time gets in the way, or resources. So what do you guys do personally to help yourself like do the hard things? Like,
For me, it's a lot of mindset. Instead of dwelling on like, oh, I messed up. I try to think more often of the end goal. For one, like in order for me to maybe like lose this amount of weight, or to um have my meals prepped. I have to think of like what is it I really really want. Like if for me it's better to make the small changes now instead of not doing anything about it. And then looking back several months down the line and realizing, oh, I could have just made all these small changes now and then been much closer at the end. um, so it is a lot of like self-talk, self-motivation of being able to get through it, and just thinking of the positives too. So it's gonna be more difficult for yourself if you're gonna dwell on the negatives, and if you're always thinking about like the should or could or would, instead of being more affirmative, I think, in saying that, I am doing this. Like you need to have the intent. I mean, no, intent's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
Well,
Like,
that's part of it, I would say. Yeah, good
but
intentions.
but like I said, instead of dwelling on should or could, like set it as the goal that it will be, or like that is something that has to be done, like accomplished, right? Because dwelling on the what ifs is not gonna help you get any closer to your goal.
Mhm.
AJ, what are your thoughts on this? What do you do to get yourself to do the hard stuff?
I mean, aside from like what Abe's like already mentioned, like what's worked for me recently is not giving myself a chance to hesitate. Like let's say, because I've set aside a time to play like the organ, to learn how to play it. Like in like I could just think about like how people like this is what I've told myself. People who are good at playing the organ, they learn from childhood, and then they also have a teacher. Like what's how can I learn in this short span of time? How can I catch up to that? Like instead of like worrying about that, I just don't give myself a chance. I said, okay, let's just let's get this done today. For me, that's like kind of like what's worked recently is before I have a chance to think about the what ifs, before I have a chance to think about, if I could do it, I'll just do it. I'll just give it I'll just give it a try. If it doesn't work out, and this is something that I'm trying to be more aware of, like like if it doesn't work out, trying not to blame myself for it. You know, not that doesn't mean I'm gonna blame someone else for it, but just going, it didn't work this time. Let's give it another shot, another time. You know, because
What about?
yeah, go
Sorry,
ahead.
go ahead. No, go. Well, I was gonna follow up with like, it takes a lot of effort to learn something. Right?
Hmm.
We acknowledge that. So, what would you say to someone who may be also in your position? Like, they're saying like it's a lot of effort to like go through all of that. Like, why bother? Like, it's
Think of
so
the
much
effort you've
effort.
already put now. Think of the effort you've already put now. You like even if you haven't started learning, the research you did, with, like the research you already did with what would what would I need to do to start learning how to do this? So, or let's say you're working out and you don't feel motivated to work out anymore. Think of the progress you already made. How many days you've already set aside and you've already worked out. That you've already maintained like a diet. Like think of that effort you've already put, right? And how that's gonna go to waste if you just stop now. You know, the effort you've already, but like you've already shown, not even told, you've already shown yourself that you can do it. Right?
But what if it's just on the onset? What if they're just about to do the thing, but they haven't invested anything in it yet? But all they're thinking about is like, but that's so much effort. That's going to be so much work. What would you say to them?
Hmm. It's a bit of a difficult question. Like if they're not personally invested, if they're not personally invested in it yet. Well, my question to them now is how badly do you want it? Right? How
Mm.
badly do you want to learn how to play the organ? How badly do you want to be physically fit? How badly do you want to learn this particular skill? If it's something that's gonna bother you, like it's gonna follow you throughout your life, where you think of it like, oh, I wish I learned how to do this. I wish I learned how to be like this. You know, then learn it. Because the the biggest, like for me, the only thing that I'm more worried about rather than the things I don't know is that the regret that I'll feel if I don't give it my best shot. Like if I, like let's say I'm also working out. If I don't become physically fit, like when I grow, when I get older, I'm not as physically fit. I can still say that I gave it like my best shot. Learn the best diets, learn how to work out. If I don't learn how to play the organ, I can still say I gave it my best shot. Like I can move on with my life without regret. without regret saying that I did what I can with the time I had to learn, to learn what I wanted to learn. And it may not have been the best at it, but I still give it my best shot, right?
Yeah, we don't want to have regrets, right? And it's always important for us, especially as Christians, that in everything that we do, we always give our all, right? We always give our 100%, even for the hard things, right? Because it may be hard in that moment and you're like,
We don't
this
know
is
what
going to be a
our
challenge.
100% is. Like sometimes we don't know what our 100% is. We think that this is our limit. We don't know. We can't see that we can still go further than that, right?
Yeah, there's always more that we can do. So, I like what Rachel and Weiser put in the live chat. She said, think about where you want to be, what you want to become, what you want to accomplish, and do what it takes to get there, no matter how long or how much work it takes to get there, right? Regardless of the effort, regardless of, because, effort, you can put in as much effort, but it won't compare to what you're trying to reach in the end, right? Even if it's something that is challenging. It may be challenging in that moment, but, once you get past that, you're like, wow, I was able to do it. Just like what you just said, you go past the limits that you think you have in your mind. So with that, I wish that we could talk about this more, but we are running out of time, and we do want to continue on with the rest of our broadcast, right, Abe?
Yes, we do. And there are a lot of thoughts I'm sure that not only the three of us have, but all of us do. So if we could have, like maybe a redo, we would try to make these comments as succinct as possible and try to fit in as many of your comments as well. But for now, let's just learn from our CSD officers in the District of Great Lakes how to sign the phrase try again.
This is your sign.
Hi everyone, my name is Ivan Kura. I am the acting president of the CSD, or the Christian Society for the Deaf, and welcome to a brand new This Is Your Sign. So, there are times in our lives when we feel like we're about to give up on something. But instead of giving up, we always push ourselves to try again. So we thought for today's This Is Your Sign, we signed the words try and again. So let's start out with the word try. It's pretty straightforward. What you're going to do is have both your thumbs up just like this. And then what you'll be doing is that you're going to push your arms forward, but at the same time, you're going to rotate your wrist and expose your fingers inside, just like this. So this is how you sign the word try. 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 All right, now let's sign the word again. Pretty straightforward too. What you're going to do with your non-dominant hand is stick it out just like this. Have your palm exposed, having it face up. And then what you'll be doing with your dominant hand, have all your fingers together just like this, and then curl them together. So on the side view, it'll look like this. And what you'll be doing with your dominant hand is that you'll be diving it into the palm of the other hand, just like this. This is how you sign the word again. 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 So again, all together, it will be try again. Try again. And this is our sign for the week. Thank you so much for joining us in this episode of the Sign of the Week, and we hope to see you all next time in next week's Sign of the Week. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching.
This is your sign.
Yes, and thank you to our CSD department for sharing that sign language with us here today. And as for our CFO in action, of course, our upcoming activities, we have Lake County and Columbus will be having their nature walk. That's on December 7th, as well as Cincinnati's biking and walking activity. Wow, a lot of physically active activities on December 7th. And on December 8th, the day after that, the district will be holding its Book Blood special gathering. Actually, let me just share to you. This short little promo that they have. So that'll be held on December 8th at 6 p.m. Central Time or 7 p.m. Eastern Time in the Chicago Chapel. And then on December 12th, or not December 12th, sorry, December 22, I should say, Park Ridge is going to be having their Unity Games bowling activity. So I hope you're all looking forward to those activities that we have.
Yes. And of course, before we go, we want to show our hashtag winners from last week to reveal the top 4. I think we're doing top 4 now. So let's see.
Yes.
Let's see those guys before we close out the show. From last week's broadcast, excited. All right. Honorable mentions from all over the world, even South America. Hello to Sister Quest and Cortez. Thanks for tuning in from last week. Fourth place is Rockford. Congrats. And Sister May Montero from Sterling Heights. Very nice. Third place is Parkridge, Illinois, with individual. No surprises there. Bloomingdale, Sister Aleli Romero. Congrats.
Second place.
Sterling Heights. Woo! Individual is Bloomingdale, Sister Rachel and Weiser, and I feel like I know number 1.
Yes.
Without a doubt, Bloomingdale, Illinois, with Belle Romero, of course. Go, 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 as he says in the live chat. Super supportive always. Thank you to everyone who continues to support INCRadio Northern Midwest. Keep trying again. Awesome broadcast today. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. I wish we could read all of them, but we do have to go, right, EJ?
Yes, yes. But before we go, we do want to say our special thanks to our district ministers, Brother Arthur P. Aguilar, our assistant district minister, Brother Elmer Sarmiento, our district minister, and there in Northern Plains, Brother Elmer Parangao, their district minister, as well as all of the district staff in both districts. And a very special thanks to Brother Angelo Iranio V. Manalo, our SEPSI president and CFO coordinator, and most especially to Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our executive minister. We'll see you again next week. Stay phenomenal, and if you fail, try again. There you go. We'll see you guys next week.
Do the hard things, everyone. Do the hard things. It will be worth it in the end. Bye-bye. Take care. Do more. Strive for more. Bye-bye.